Hi boys and girls, welcome back to lesson 2 for our Sunday school. Today our topic is called Attributes of God for lesson 2. So last time when we talked a little bit about prayer, and what we talked about, I'm going to show our flip chart again. We talked about our I love you prayers, so hopefully you had a chance to practice those. Today we're going to talk about the confession or I'm sorry prayers. So I want you to try and think about that today. And think about maybe something that you're sorry for from this week. So here's an idea. You could go, Dear God, thank you for your forgiveness. I want to say I'm sorry. And then this is where you would put something in. Maybe for yelling at my mom, or maybe for grabbing something from my brother or my sister. So this is where you want to think of maybe something that you did that maybe you shouldn't have. And you're sorry for, and you're going to ask forgiveness for. And this is what this thank you prayer is for. Okay, so I want you to think about that. I'll start it off, and then you can maybe say it out loud or say it in your head. Okay, here it goes. Dear God, thank you for your forgiveness of sins. I want to say sorry for... Amen. Good job, guys. All right. So we're going to look at this today in our book. We talked about a special book last week. Do you remember what that book was called? Right, it was called the Bible. That's right, and that's where we learn about God's Word, and we're going to be looking at a lot of different things in here this year. So if you look on here, there's a lot of different things on here. Oh my goodness, I see ice cream and cupcakes and some jewelry and some money and some honey. Lots of different things we might always want, hey? And it says here, God's Word, the Bible, better than gold and sweeter than honey. Lots of things on there, isn't there? I want you to think about this for a little bit, and I'm going to read a story right now, okay? Here is our Justin and Jesse story. It's called God in Binoculars. So remember, I'm going to read the story, but I'm going to kind of read it, and so you're going to have to look at the picture and kind of listen to my voice. Ooh, that one looks like a rabbit. See his ears? Hey, yeah, but there's an ice cream cone over there. Jesse and Justin laughed as they stared at the puffy clouds in the sky. It was a good day for cloud watching. The sunshine was warm, but the breeze made the clouds quickly change into different shapes. Seeing that cloud shaped like an ice cream made me hungry. Let's go get a snack, said Justin. Sounds good to me, exclaimed Jesse. I'll ask my mom what we can have to eat. The two friends hurried inside Jesse's house. Justin and Jesse lived next door to each other. Their families had been friends since Justin and Jesse were born. Just 2 weeks apart. They even got to call each other's parents aunt and uncle because their families knew each other so well. Justin was Jesse's best friend, and Jesse was Justin's. They liked to play games, ride bikes, or just act goofy. It was always fun, and today was no different. I love bananas, said Justin, acting like a monkey with a mouthful of banana. Me too. Hey, what's that thing? Jesse asked. Oh, that's a pair of binoculars, Jesse's mom replied as she walked into the kitchen. You look through them, and they make things that are far away look closer so you can see them better. Your dad uses binoculars for hunting so he can search for animals. Wow, can we use them to look at the clouds, Aunt Bev? Asked Justin. I suppose so, but be very careful with them and bring them back inside, Jesse's mom handed the binoculars to Jesse. Jesse looked through them. Wow, Justin, you're right. Your head looks so big. It's just like you're standing right here in front of me. Let me try. They both practiced with the binoculars, then went outside to search for the best clouds. Wow, these binoculars make the clouds look so close. Hey, I wonder if we could see God up there. Maybe we can. Here, let me look. Jessie put the binoculars up to her eyes and searched all around the sky. I don't see God up there, just clouds and some birds. Hi there, kids. What are you up to? Daddy, shouted Jesse, and she ran and gave him a hug. We're looking for God through your binoculars? Jesse's dad laughed. You mean binoculars? Yeah, that, giggled Jesse. We were looking for God up in the sky, but we can't find him, explained Justin. Well, you know why you can't find God through the binoculars? Jesse's dad sat down on the grass beside him. It's because God is unsearchable. That means God is so great we could never know all he knows or understand everything about him. But we can see other things with the binoculars, like birds and clouds, said Jesse. And Justin pointed out you could see animals that are hiding too. Oh yes, we can see all kinds of things God created. but God is much, much greater than anything he's made. Wow, God must be really big then, said Jessie. He's greater than anything. That's right, God is so great. He's unsearchable. Just then they heard a voice saying, God is unsearchable, but I didn't have to search very far to find you, Justin. Justin's mom laughed as she opened the gate. Time for dinner, come on home. Okay, Mom, I'm coming. See you later, Jessie. And thanks for letting us use your binoculars, Uncle Dave. Justin ran through the gate into his own yard as Jessie and her dad waved goodbye and headed into their house to put their binoculars away. That's our story for today. So for your craft this week, I've got a set of binoculars for you to make. Okay, so you've got your binoculars. Inside are some pieces of paper and different things you could decorate. You can use markers or stickers. You could glue those papers on there and make your binoculars just like that. And then you can look through things and maybe you can see things that God has made as well through your binoculars. So that's your craft for this week, okay? Then we're gonna go back through here and look back at this one here. Okay, and we may like a lot of these things. We talked about some of these things on here, and we kind of, I know I like some of those things. We might like some things, but learning from God's word is better than anything we could ever want because it tells us about God. So God's word is perfect and true. It tells us so many things about God. Today we're going to learn. We read a story about Jessie and Justin and about how they were kind of looking for God and they couldn't find him, right? I want you to think about someone who you think is super great. I know I can think of someone. Can you? Yeah, I know some of you probably thought of your mom or your dad or grandma or grandpa, right? They are great. But when we think of someone like that, we think of how strong and how smart they are and how good they are at doing something. But you know what? God is indefinitely greater. No one is like God. Okay? So, what we're going to do is so for this week, there are 2 sheets here as well. Okay? So you can work on these with your moms and your dads. If you're in pre-K, you will have gotten this sheet here, and you have to find the numbers and the letters and connect them. And then here some different attributes about God, and you're going to circle the words to describe him. All right? So that is our lesson for this week. I hope you enjoy it and have lots of fun, and we will see you next week. Bye.